was almost speechless. When I found out, it was probably like 6 in the morning because I had to get up for school. He sent out a text to everyone saying what part they got. So I checked my phone and he said, "Congrats, Edna," and I literally shrieked and I ran downstairs and told my mom. I was like, "I got Edna," and she gave me a big hug. I just didn't really even know what to do with myself. I was like a kid in a candy shop.
And then Aaron Williams called me and he was like, "I just want you to know that you are Mothermouth Maybelle." And I screamed. I completely screamed. And I was like, "Are you serious?" He was like, "I'm so serious. You got the role." And I was like, "Thank you."
Well, at first when I saw the schedule of our rehearsals, I was like, he is seriously tripping.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
People got aggravated with each other because they couldn't do dance moves right or they wouldn't get the acting part right. But, you know, we all worked together as a team, and I can honestly say this show, everyone was like a family.
It was like, yes, practice tomorrow, cool. Like, it wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't dreadful.
I know I went through a lot going through because I had like 4 or 5 funerals I had to go to, so all of them were there for that, and they all encouraged me to be like, "Well, Lamar, this is your escape." And so this is my plan to escape from all the things that I had in my life and come to Hairspray and always feel like a family with my cast members.
There's always, you know, some sort of obstacle that you have to overcome that's like your main thing that you have to deal with during a show for any character really. But it was never as bad as Edna Turnblad. That was the hardest part I have ever done. I actually thought that I was going to have to quit Hairspray. It was around the same time that Jordan Doughty was having trouble with getting her 3 characters together. I think me, her, and Aaron actually sat down and had a conversation about it. And Aaron just said that the 2 of us were thinking too hard and we were trying to overanalyze every single part of the show. And I still didn't even get it then, but he says that about 3 weeks before opening night, he saw an immediate change, and he said I just started to get it. And that I felt it happening. I don't exactly know what it was, but for some reason the movements and the voice, it just happened. It was just, it hit me all of a sudden.
Hey, baby, look at me. I'm the cutest chickie that you ever did see. Hey, Tracy, hey, baby, look at us. Where is everything that's happening? Fabulous!
Because I had worked with Aaron before, I expected the lead role. Aaron really knocked me back down to where my place was. I don't feel like that was the sole reason why he gave that to me, but I feel like it was one of those like underlying things. So at first I was a little upset because, you know, you expect something and then, you know, it doesn't happen. Naturally you're upset. And I was wrong in expecting that. I definitely learned my place through Hairspray. I definitely feel like Hairspray was a very humbling experience.
Especially with Hairspray, he did this a lot. He doesn't strip you down to the point that you just feel horrible about yourself, but he strips you down so that you know what it feels like to be embarrassed, to make a fool of yourself, to maybe not do something that's in your comfort zone. Remembering that, he makes you realize that nothing bad happened to you. You didn't die from it. You didn't never want to do theater again. It helps you because you remember that embarrassment and you think, well, getting on stage and doing something that's already written and not improv, dancing or singing is not going to be nearly as bad as the embarrassment I just felt having to make something up at the top of my head. So a lot of his improv work helps you just kind of get rid of your fear of embarrassment in front of people, and then he really makes you study your character. He makes you create given circumstances and a background for that person. He really makes you become that person, and he works with your mannerisms, and he makes you embody that character piece by piece.
I Know Where I've Been was always really emotional for everybody. Like when they hear it's a slow song and you have to think about the past and all of that. But one day we were doing it in practice and he was really like, think about your ancestors and think about where you've been. And he was just directing us on to going back to these places where we felt vulnerable. And he said, use that when you sing this song. From that point on, when we sung that song, it was always emotional.
I know where I'm
Hairspray was a tremendous challenge. He puts the students in situations that would be very controversial, but then he has it in a very controlled situation because it's in the show, to show them, especially in Hairspray, about discrimination at the heart of it, of why it was. And you don't have to be of color to be discriminated. You could be discriminated because you're too big, or too skinny, or too tall, or whatever. And to learn about that very, very difficult subject in a play probably defines it for those students forever in a way that no book or no picture could have, because they lived it in those short amount of times on the stage. That's the teaching tool that is so magnificent for the collective work of Aaron and what he does. He makes it happen in a make-believe place that changes their lives in a real life situation.